Now, in the last segment, we unpacked the good, the bad, and the ugly behind the growing trend of GLP-1 weight loss drugs and how they intersect with the menopause journey. And now we're going even deeper because when it comes to your health, details matter. Now, you've heard the names Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, and yes, Saxenda. But what do they actually do? How are they different? Which ones are approved for weight loss and which ones are not? And what should you ask your provider before saying yes to anyone? So any of them rather. So let's break it down clearly and with insight for every midlife woman because you deserve this. Now let's start with the one that blew up on online, right? And that's Ozempic. Ozempic is a once weekly injection that contains semaglutide, a medication that mimics the hormone your body naturally produces. Now, the hormone helps with blood sugar control, slows down how quickly your stomach empties after eating, and tells your brain, I'm full. Right? Now, originally, this was approved for type 2 diabetes. Ozempic is now being widely prescribed off-label, and that means that it's being used for something that it was not originally approved for, which in this case specifically is for weight loss. And for a lot of women in midlife dealing with hormonal weight gain, insulin resistance, or conditions like PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, well, it becomes a popular option. But let's pause there. Insulin resistance means your body isn't using insulin effectively, so it stores more fat, especially around the belly, and it makes it harder to lose weight. Now, this becomes more common in menopause due to hormonal shifts. In fact, Dr. Catherine Saunders, a obesity medicine specialist, well, she says that Ozempic can be effective, but it must be paired with education, lifestyle change, and a long-term plan. And without that, weight regain is very common. A woman also messaged me stating that I finally lost 30 pounds, but the side effects hit hard. And once I stopped, the weight crept back. And the side effects, like I mentioned earlier, can include nausea, fatigue, and a deep loss of appetite that can leave you undernourished if you're not carefully managing things. Now, here's an important point. Ozempic can help suppress your appetite, but it won't rebuild your muscle, rebalance your hormones, or protect your bone health, which are all critical during midlife and menopause and postmenopause especially. So the takeaway here is that if your doctor suggests Ozempic, ask, will we be tracking my muscle, my hormone balance, and energy, and not just the number on the scale? Because without support, the win might not feel like a win for long. Now, let's talk about Wegovy. It's made from the same medication as semaglutide, but in higher doses. And this one is FDA approved specifically for weight loss, designed for people with obesity or those who are overweight and have conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or even sleep apnea. Now, in clinical trials, folks lost an average of 15% of their body weight, and about a third lost 20%. And that's serious weight reduction. And for many women who've been fighting their bodies for years, this feels like a breakthrough. But here's the catch. Wegovy is powerful, but without strength training or hormone-aware nutrition, well, it can pull weight from everywhere, including muscle mass, not just fat. And let's define that, right? Muscle mass is not about looking muscular and toned and big. It's about your metabolic engine, your balance, your protection against falls. And look, it's the reason why you feel strong and steady. And during menopause, you will naturally begin to lose it, something that's called sarcopenia. And that just means age-related muscle loss. But when you lose too much too quickly, it affects everything: strength, stamina, even brain function. Dr. Rekha Kumar, another obesity expert, says that weight loss alone is not success. Protecting strength, mood, and overall vitality matters even more. Now, Wegovy can be life-changing, but only when it's part of a larger strategy, because if not, it may leave you lighter, but not healthier. So the takeaway here is ask your provider to measure your body composition, not just your weight. You want to lose fat, not muscle, and you want to feel alive, not just smaller. Now we're going to dive into Mounjaro, and this one uses trizepatide, which activates two hormone systems instead of one, GLP-1 and GIP. That dual action can lead to stronger appetite control and better sugar support. Now, it's currently FDA approved for type 2 diabetes, but many doctors are prescribing it off label for weight loss. Now, in major studies, people lost up to 22.5% of their total body weight. That's a pretty high result, high like Wegovy and even Saxenda as well. But again, fast isn't always better. Rapid weight loss can feel thrilling, but for midlife women, that speed can come at a loss of energy, emotional stability, and resilience. I even heard a woman say, I lost 40 pounds in 4 months, but I also lost my energy, my libido disappeared, and my face looked tired and hollow. And it makes sense, right? Because when you lose weight too fast, your body's going to pull it from everywhere: muscle, hydration, and even essential fats that cushion the skin and support your hormones. Dr. Scott Kahan says that these are powerful tools, but without guidance and recovery strategies, people end up smaller, but also weaker. And that's not what you want, right? And the takeaway here is before starting Mounjaro, how are you protecting your energy, your hormones, and your muscles? If your doctor doesn't have a full answer for you, you need to find a doctor who does. Now is Zepbound. Now this is trizepatide again, same as Mounjaro, but this one's FDA approved specifically for weight loss. That approval came in late 2023 and hit the market with a bang. In clinical trials, people lost up to 25% of their body weight. And again, approaching results seen in bariatric surgery without the surgery. But let's slow down there because Zepbound is strong and midlife bodies are more vulnerable. So you're already navigating estrogen loss, bone thinning, slower digestion, and disrupted sleep. So rapid weight loss can worsen those shifts if not closely supported or monitored. Like other LGP-1s, Zepbound carries a box warning for thyroid tumors in animal studies. It's rare, but women with a history of thyroid conditions should absolutely bring that up to your provider. You might lose weight fast. You may also lose energy, libido, hydration, focus, or sleep if you're not supplementing what your body needs. The takeaway here: ask for a menopause-specific support plan if you're starting Zepbound. And that means strength training, nutritional therapy, emotional support, and hormone monitoring. This isn't just about shrinking, it's about thriving. And finally, Saxenda, the first GLP-1 medication approved for weight loss back in 2024. It uses liraglutide, and unlike the others, it's a daily injection, not a weekly. Now, it doesn't produce results as dramatic as the newer drugs. It's more like 5 to 10% of weight over time, but for many women in menopause, slower is safer and more sustainable. In one trial, 63% of participants lost at least 5%, and then another lost up to 10% over additional time. Now, what's really good here for you to know and what to understand, especially about these side effects, is that they're milder, making it a gentler option, especially for women who are sensitive to medication or who just don't want the dramatic shifts that happen with those other medications. Now, here's what really matters though. Slower weight loss often leads to better retention of muscle, steadier mood, and fewer rebound issues, and it gives your body time to adapt. Saxenda also carries the same tumor thyroid warning, and there are potential risks like gallbladder disease, pancreatitis, and elevated heart rate, but these are rare and usually manageable with proper care. Now, the takeaway here is that if the stronger meds don't feel right for you, if you struggle with side effects, well, ask about Saxenda. Steady and supported beats fast and fragile every time. So there you have it. 5 medications, 5 different mechanisms, 5 different ways to get help. But the one constant, you. These medications can't replace your power. They can't rewire your mindset. They can't rebuild your joy or your strength or your purpose. But you can, especially with the right strategy and tools. So before we shift into the next part of today's episode, I want to leave you with something just as important as understanding the medications, and that is how to actually build a plan that supports your whole self. Because whether you're taking GLP-1 drugs or not, you deserve more than just prescriptions and guesswork. You deserve a strategy, one that supports your hormones, your muscles, your energy, your mood, and your mindset. So if you're wondering, where do I even start? Well, here's where I recommend starting. First, when we think about physically, you want strength training that is tailored to your menopause muscle preservation, bone health, and joint safety. Not a 20-something-year-old high-intensity interval training boot camp, right? You want nutritional support that's not restrictive, but hormone aware, fueling your body for energy and symptom relief without cutting calories or obsessive daily weigh-ins. You also want emotional resilience tools because mood swings, anxiety, and confidence dips are real during menopause, and you deserve tools to help manage those as well. But here's the most important piece. Don't choose a plan before you understand what's happening to your body. Foundational menopause education is the key. When you know what's changing in your body and why, when you understand your hormones, your symptoms, your risks, and your options, you stop feeling lost and you stop outsourcing your power. You stop trying everything and seeing nothing work, right? So if you want to move beyond just managing symptoms and you want to start creating real change, again, start with education. For over 2 decades that I've been training and educating, the foundation of transformative success with all of my students, no matter what area that I've worked in, has been 4 things: to assess, address, adapt, and ascend. Assess where you are now first, mentally, physically, and emotionally, in order to address what needs addressing, right? You have to assess first. I have a quick and free tool that has been the starting point for all the successes that I've had with my clients over the years, and it's been recently updated, and it's now called the Menopause Readiness Quiz. Again, it's a tool, it's not a test, and it gives you the insights on your level of menopause awareness, keys to symptoms that you may have even overlooked. And if I have any programs that could be of help, it will also share those options based on your quiz responses. Again, it's completely free and it's the first step to better menopause awareness, because when you understand what's happening inside your body, you can make choices that actually support it. Not out of fear, not out of frustration, but a place of strength. Your body is not broken. It is transitioning. And with the right knowledge and support, you can move through this transition with confidence, with clarity, and compassion. Because informed women don't just cope, they lead. And you have every right to feel strong, supported, and fully in charge of your health at every stage.
What I loved about this segment was how Tawfiq didn't say what you should do. He simply explained what each of these medications does and how they might affect someone going through menopause. I learned so much I didn't know before. How are you enjoying this spin-off series of the Mr. Menopause Show called Segments? Let us know in the comments. Want more? Watch the full episode on Bold Brave TV or Mr. Menopause TV. Then take the Menopause Readiness Quiz at menopausereadinessquiz.com to see where you stand. A new segment's on the way. Stay tuned.